Okay, guys, great. Welcome everyone to another episode of The Tales. And a very special one today, guys. Why? Because not every day you get a chance to host four Hall of Famers. I tell you what, I'm lucky and they are deserving. So let's welcome the four who matter today. Akshita, Emil, Sourav, and Amey. Inductees of the first ever Hall of Fame for interns at Twimbit. Really proud to say this and share the moment with you guys. Thank you for being here, all of you. Pleasure. Hey, great.
Thank you.
If you recall, and I don't actually remember the specific instance, but if you can go back to the very first conversation we ever had before, when you were in the decision-making process of whether you wanted to join Twimbit or not for your internship. And I say this to everybody, in our conversations before we actually decide to work together, that the true mark of success for any intern will be that at the end of your term, if we want you to stay, but you have to leave. This is what I tell everybody. But hey, not everybody is able to execute that and realize that. It's the four of you who've done that. That's why you stand out. That's why you compelled us as an organization to start this tradition. Because I saw you in your journey over here in the time that we had together, really go through the learn, master, and then matter. Right? These three words which I keep repeating. Learn, master, matter. And you've done all that, and which is why you matter at this moment. So thank you guys for setting the bar high for anyone who's going to come through the door in the future. So let's start first of all with, and you've known this now for a few days that you are going to be inducted in this Hall of Fame. You've had a couple of days to sleep with the thought, right? Get friendly with it. How do you feel, first of all, that you've been chosen for this recognition? Sourav, you want to start us?
Yes, sure, Fasi. So, since the time you told us that we will be doing this kind of a podcast where it's all about Hall of Fame and you explained us, so it was really exciting. And I never thought that I have created such kind of an impression in the company, which I wanted to work in. And yeah, it's exciting and it's an honor to be here, actually. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Yeah, please keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have to agree with Sourav that, I never thought that my impact could be, I guess, big enough and worthy enough to be considered to such a prestigious position, especially for the first time, where this is permanent. No one's ever going to be the first ones again. So that's really an honor.
Yeah, even I agree with Emil. I think it's special that we are the first ones to go to the Hall of Fame. And I think it's special because, Pasi, do you remember the first conversation we had? You had, told me the exact same thing when I asked you how I should go about my work at Twimbit. So now that everything is concluding, I think it's great. I'm very, very excited to, end it this way.
Awesome, man.
I think all the three of them have already said what I wanted to. I was really excited, and when you told me why we were, each of us were chosen for this, I really liked how you've monitored our growth throughout. You have Twimbit as an organization has acknowledged all our achievements and all our suggestions and recommendations.
Hey, but it's not about me, right? It's about you guys right now. You've made it happen, right? You've propelled yourself to this point, right? And if we go back to the history of Hall of Fame, where did it really emerge from? So back in 1890, there was a monument that was erected in the University of New York with the name Hall of Fame. It was started by the chancellor of New York University at the time. Right now, that same campus is called Bronx College in uptown New York. But the intent of this monument was to recognize and appreciate citizens of distinction. People who are outside the military services, regular citizens as part of sciences or scholarships, because it was a campus, right? And how they stand out, they wanted to mark those outstanding citizens, right? And 1900 was when it was first instituted, the first chapter of that Hall of Fame monument. It was just interesting to go back and read a little bit upon it, how the whole thing started. And what makes me happy is that the true ethos of Hall of Fame, the conceptualization which happened back in 1890 through 1900, that it has to recognize truly outstanding achievements and impacts, right? Which is what you guys have been able to do. So just like these days, we have the Olympics on, right? I don't know if you guys are interested or not. Anyone who's following Olympics diligently? All right, Amey, good. Oh, Mr. Emil also. Okay. So, and the other three of us, not really, It's all right. So, if you see the difference between the winners and the others in the Olympics, always the margin of that victory is very, very narrow. Very, very narrow, right? And these athletes, they prepare their entire lives, put in such hard yards to be able to differentiate themselves by those narrow margins. Now, it's not the margin which I'm interested in today. It's the attitude which brings you to the point of creating those margins, right? So the question that I have for you guys is, when you embarked on this journey with Twimbit, did you have that mindset already of a winner, of wanting to improve with every step, or did you cultivate it along the way, right? They're both fine. There's no one better than the other. It's just that through your experience, through your learning, through your sharing, I want the other interns out there to benefit, right? So therefore, I request you to dig a little deeper and think through your own journey. Did you come already with that, or did you have to inculcate it along the way? Akshita, you want to start? And we can.
Yes, so
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I think it was a mix of both for me. I was a fresh graduate when I started my internship. My plan was completely different. I wanted to do my master's, but the pandemic had other plans for me. So I knew that I wanted to get into research and consulting. I knew that that was the path that I was going to choose in the future. But however, I wasn't sure about what I had to do to reach my end goal. And I believe that I cultivated along the way. I learned a lot of things, a lot of soft skills as well as technical skills in Twimbit, which helped me narrow down my options and identify what I want to do exactly.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing. Who else?
I could go. Okay. So for me, I think coming to Twimbit, so I did not have a very professional experience before joining Twimbit. So during the last year of my graduation, I was involved in, mostly in this research in NLP. So I was confident about that, about my skills to, trying to solve problems related to data science or NLP. But post joining Twimbit, the first project that I worked on, and which is also the major project that I worked on, so only 10% of my actual time was spent, formulating and executing the solution from a data science point of view. 90% of my time was, learning how to automate things, how to make things more efficient, and take those things to production, which can then be displayed on the Twimbit website. So all these things. So I think out of all my work throughout my period at Twimbit, about 90% of my work has been like spontaneous, and I have had to catch things up along the way. So from that point of view, it has been a great learning, because I now have a confidence that even if I in future am in a place where I have to learn something new, so I'll be able to do it. And I think everyone in Twimbit, including Aman, have been extremely supportive and patient with me in that regard. So yeah, so that actually is my
Okay.
experience.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Let's keep rolling, please.
Yeah. I'll admit that when I came in, I had absolutely no knowledge of the area that I'm doing at the moment, which is employee experience. So basically, my thought process in the spring was, this is the first summer of my life when I can do something truly productive. When you're in school, your summers tend to be just, you go and play with your friends, go to movies, mess around. This summer was the first time I had an opportunity to really move something in my life forwards, even though it's the summer. So I guess my perspective from the start has been, I want to learn as much about what I'm doing, whatever it is, which turned out to be employee experience, and gain as much from the experience as I can, despite not being familiar with it from the get-go. And I think I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out.
Me too, man. Yes, Sourav.
So yes, even I would like to I think Akshita and me was in the same position and we joined on the same day. We were a fresh graduate and we joined Twimbit. So I was really looking forward for an internship because due to the pandemic, I couldn't pursue my MBA at that particular point of time. But when I joined, I remember Pasi saying me on his first call, I guess, that don't think this internship as a normal internship which you did in past, where you come for 9 to 5 and then you go, and you just take it as your something that it will add. You should add a value to this particular company and think accordingly and work hard that way. So that actually kept me going, and yeah, I went with the flow. And yes, even I didn't know that I have created such an impact, but on the day Pasi told that you have done this thing, so I was really happy, and yeah, that kept me going actually.
Yeah, at this stage of your careers, there's no reason for you guys to underestimate yourself, right? And we are talking about this impact. So what is that impact really? For me, what matters is, see, we all have a role to do, correct? We all have things we got to fulfill, and that is what we are supposed to do. But doing what we are not supposed to do is where the impact happens. You guys were never supposed to make other people around you better. You guys were never supposed to, while being students and fresh interns, you were never supposed to be mentors, which you ended up being. Apart from being executioners, you were never supposed to be innovators, which you ended up being, right? So, and that's, this is what I believe for the longest time. We talk about appreciation as a concept a lot, and as a human race, people feel a lack of appreciation, right? We all do at certain times, whether in families or at work. But then what really needs appreciation is when you go above and beyond and do things which you're not supposed to, because you have left that mark, is which is why it convinced me that this is the right path to go down with you guys. So, and just like we talked about that Olympic athlete, there's a lot of supporting structure around these people, coaches, nutritionists, etc., right? Because nobody can really flourish without that environment. And it's possible that there are other smart people also, but who don't crack the Hall of Fame code, maybe because they didn't have that fertile of an environment around them, right? So what would you like to say around what is the environment which helps you through this and which lets you achieve your potential, which lets you make that mark and do the things which really matter? What is that fertility in that environment around you as a team, as a
Okay, so I can say from being a part of the technical team. So I can say from the technical team's point of view, we have everything planned very beforehand. So right now also the projects that Twimbit is going to undertake from a technical perspective, everything is planned before 3 months. So that really helps. So even if for me, if I had to do a certain kind of uh, research for a future project, it gives me time to really think about how I would approach the project when the time comes to really execute it. So the time that I receive it, it helps to boil things down and eliminate certain obstacles that one may face beforehand. That's, I think, one of the good things.
So planning and visibility, that's a good point, right? Okay, what else?
I think
I
the
think
thing
like
you can go, Akshita.
sorry. Okay, so I think I experienced the same thing that Amey did. Even during my interview, Vanika clearly explained what verticals are there and which vertical she would want me to take up and Sourav to take up. And apart from that, I think Twimbit really emphasizes on cross-department interactions. Uh, in multiple meetings, we've learned a lot from the tech team on how we can organize things better. And similarly, some of the things that we did, for example, changing the headings and making structuring our articles, we helped other teams understand that better. So I think interacting with other departments to learn better is one of the most important things that really helped us perform better.
Okay, very good.
So what I was going to say earlier was, I think the biggest thing that I've benefited from is I've had the chance to work with a very like broad flexibility of methods and strategies that I could use for myself to complete projects. So for example, I've had the chance to design my entire own framework for judging the learning and development for a company, which I think is pretty remarkable that a company would trust an intern enough to give them that type of freedom. And I think that's been a really big help in letting me grow and try new things and expand beyond some, like, what I was before. When before this, I hadn't really led a project or, I guess, designed a project from the bottom up. And I think having the opportunity to do that has been extremely helpful for me.
Yeah, and it's not just about thinking of yourself as an intern. I keep going back to this, guys, right? Hey, people are people, man. Who cares, intern or a senior VP? It's about how you approach a situation and how you conduct yourself in that situation. That's it. Nothing else matters. Correct? And so that part, I think you did very well, Emil. Because you and I, we were working closely together, and so that is why I was able to give that flexibility, because I saw the right approach, the attitude, the hunger, right? And that's it. Then our job becomes easier, and which is what all of us have to learn, because you are going to become great leaders, all of you, as you step out, right? And you have to learn the concept of momentary leadership, or leadership in moments, right? A lot of us think about leadership as a constant process. It doesn't have to be. You got to suit each other's style, and it's just about those key moments. And rest of the time, hey man, fly freely like a bird, right? Because who is any leader in this world to tell you how high you can fly? You got to determine that for yourself, right? Like there was this quote. I think it says, "I don't get pissed off. I only get distant." And I look at it in this sense. When we say distant, you've gone so far ahead of the curve. This distant, that I don't get pissed off, but I become so good that I become distant. Yes. So Sourav, what about you, man?
So I think everyone has said pretty much everything, and I would like to agree with Emil here that the freedom which the Twimbit is offering an intern to actually explore themselves within the organization and work what they are like, what they actually like doing, is one of the great thing which actually brings out what we say brings out actually creativity from an individual point of view. Actually, yes. So that was a thing for me.
Hey, one common thing between the four of you is, hey, you're all good people. You're good people. You're humble, right? Which I think are great qualities to have if we want to actually become great in life, right? Um, and I know we've had a lot of fun during our times together, whether it's on calls, whether it's you amongst yourself playing football or this and that, whatever, messing around, right? Or Emil going on his weekend drinking getaways, or whatever. And it's been great for me. You guys have been friends from day one, and that's a testament to all of you, that how easy you can assimilate in any environment with any kind of person, right? So, but while everything has looked hunky-dory and the results are there to prove it, what's been the biggest challenge you had to overcome during this time? Maybe people know about it already, maybe they don't, right? But what was a difficult instance or a phase for you?
All right. For me, I'd identify my biggest challenge as, I guess, starting the big project that I've been working on, so the L&D report. Because right at the beginning, I'll admit that the question that I was answering, which top 10 companies have the best L&D, was so broad that finding an angle to tackle that from in the beginning without any context was definitely a very big challenge. And I think what helped solving that challenge was doing a lot of research before the research, if you know what I mean. So before I started looking at individual companies, I started looking at how other people have been identifying this same kind of question, or how, which aspects of L&D have been relevant in other people's assessments of companies or industries or other things like this. So I think that has been my biggest challenge, and that was my response to it. And I think the best way to tackle a problem where your situation is too broad and you don't know, or you don't have a direction.
Good.
For me, I had when I joined, I had troubles with structuring my article right, and achieving cohesiveness throughout the article, and not overloading reports with unnecessary information. I came in with absolutely no research experience, but it took me a lot of time to get my storylining and structuring right. I received a lot of help from Varnika. And I think Twimbit also provides us the platform where you can interact with different people and identify your mistakes and get help from them. So that really helped me. But this was the biggest challenge I faced when I joined.
Yes, so when I faced the same thing, structuring a report was the biggest challenge for me too. And since the first article which I wrote was the ABI over here, which is a company insight, and coming out with a proper structure of a company insight, because we were doing it for the first time and we have been told that it's going to be the premium content of Twimbit. So getting to that concrete and crisp structure was the biggest challenge, because when we talk about a bank, they have so many verticals, and which to include and which to actually not include in that particular report was the biggest challenge for me. And
yes, and let's not call that first version an article. It was an article wannabe, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah.
For me, I think the biggest challenge should be the entire aggregation project actually, because the concept itself is very complicated, and we are dealing with a broad range of sources. We get our information from a broad range of sources. So, to develop a code which handles this kind of dynamic inputs into a single structure, it was difficult, but it was exciting at the same time. And I think everyone working on the aggregation project did a wonderful job. So,
Hey, in the outdoors, I'm a big outdoor fellow, right? I think I shared with you guys earlier. Big adventure freak, and there is a rule that we follow in the outdoors, right? Leave nothing but footsteps, take nothing but photographs, right? That is the rule of the outdoors and nature. And if we apply the same rule over here, you guys have left your mark, you guys have left your steps over here. But what I want to know now is, what is that one life lesson you are taking with you, which you will be able to apply in your education going forward, other jobs, other companies, other parts of the world, right? But what is that one life lesson that you learned at Twimbit which will stay with you?
All right, so as a Finnish person and as a hockey person, I'd like to quote Wayne Gretzky. And the quote is, "You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take." So basically, my only advice is take every opportunity that you can and try every new thing that exists, because that's the only way to get new experiences and learn new lessons. So you got to be hungry for new lessons and try the things that seem like they might not be perfect for you, but which might be, because you don't know until you've tried it.
I'll try to remember that one, man. Yes, actually.
that's how you're going. Okay, so for me, I think the biggest life lesson would be, the importance of collaboration. Because during my time at Twimbit, along with the main project I was working on, I also worked on multiple small projects, and I got to interact with many people from the finance team. So Akshita and I, we were corresponding till like today afternoon. Emil and I, we had corresponded on a small project. I had corresponded with I think Aryaman on a small project. So Twimbit as a product, I think it amalgamates experience of research and insights from research people, and bringing the latest technology to bring forward the best research experience to users. So for achieving that, or creating anything that has value, this kind of collaboration is the way to go forward. So even in my life, I would look to find such kind of collaborations that would help me improve and achieve more.
Very good. Collaboration and collaboration in relationships, two different things, right? Okay, good, man. Yes, Sourav.
So there have been many life lessons for me, because since I'm a fresher and don't know about corporate words, so how corporate actually works and how things actually fall in place when you go ahead. So these were the things, and one thing which I learned was you should never actually judge your capabilities, because when you start working hard, you start seeing different new opportunities which will come along your way, and it will actually help you to grow as a person and as a professional also. So yeah, that was the thing.
Deep, man. Yes, actually.
For me, the biggest lesson was to take responsibility and accountability for my work. And the fact that we were treated like full-time employees and not interns was very helpful. We were given complete autonomy over our project, so I kept looking for new ways to make it better. And of course, I received a lot of help from the team, but I was motivated to learn new things by myself as well.
It's incredible. I think for myself, hell, this is the closest I'm ever going to get to a Hall of Fame. That is interacting with the real Hall of Famers. So thank you guys for giving me that opportunity. Yes, because not everyone even gets to experience that. I feel elevated. I feel levitated. I feel great. So thank you all for extending this. And Hall of Fame is forever, man. Carry that with yourself. Okay? That doesn't mean that we become big-headed or, start trouncing the values and none of that shit. I'm not worried about all those things because I know the kind of people you are, the kind of humans you are. You will always take care, right? But just carry that badge with you forever so that you don't hold yourself back in anything. You don't underestimate yourself in anything, right? And another thing which stands out about you guys is you're not afraid to fall. Okay, and once you're not afraid to fall, and you have that validation of having done great already. Distant is the word which comes to my mind. You are going to go far, far away, guys. So keep that in mind. It's your achievement. Cherish it. Enjoy it. And thank you again for being part of this show, everybody. Any final comments, thoughts, messages for the world out there, for all the millions of interns, our friends who are looking to break the glass ceiling, so to speak? Any final words or comments for them? And then we shall close.
So thank you for having us here. Thank you for recognizing our efforts. And I think for a company that does such great and extensive research on employee experience, I think Twimbit has ticked every checkbox under the Twimbit EX framework. So thanks for giving us this platform to share our views. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Posse, again for inducting us into this Hall of Fame. That's been excellent, and also thank you for the guidance. A lot of my work has been with you, and it's been excellent. So can't thank you more for that. And for all the people thinking about joining Twimbit. But yeah, if you're thinking of joining Twimbit, do it. It's a great company. We're full of great people, and you're going to have a lot of flexibility and support. So take the shot.
Yeah, just one correction. I didn't induct you guys in this Hall of Fame. You inducted yourself. Okay? Yeah, that's the only difference. Okay, quick final thoughts.
Yes, thank you, Pasi, for actually bringing this together and this thought of you while you saw us and you got to know about this kind of a thought and you wanted to do this podcast. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for being a personal mentor to me, especially in terms of writing a report or be it communication was one of the biggest learning which I got from you, that how you communicate and how the communication will create the biggest impact when you go in future. So thank you for that. And yeah, as Emil said that Twimbit is a nice company, guys. Do give it a shot and you will really enjoy working here.
Hey, is this a marketing video for Twimbit, man? What the hell is going on over here? Huh? Yes, Amey. Quick last.
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Pasi, for organizing this. This has been really amazing. I just wanted to thank you and basically everyone for my team who would be watching this video. So thanks to the tech team of Twimbit, and for all the people who are normal people who are watching this video, sign up to the Twimbit's website.
All right, fellows, then on that happy note, wish you all the very best, guys. And remember that we are always here for you. Anytime you want to discuss anything, you want to reach out, share a situation, anything we can help you with, feel free. And I will repeat again what I said in one of the team meetings earlier. If you guys don't come back here after your next education stint, your degrees are over. If you don't come back, I'm going to personally make sure all your degrees are invalidated. Okay? So risk your 2 years at your own risk, my friends. The rest, as they say, we shall find out. Huh? Thank you and take care.
Take care.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Master.